Okay, and we're live. All right, so let's go ahead. Anybody who is catching me up, give me a thumbs up that you are present. Welcome to Come Cook with Me. So today we have a fan favorite in our family, and it's a real traditional approach. This recipe comes from my grandmother, actually, and I think she got it from her mom. I'm imagining, so just from the farm. So I have a really exciting non-traditional approach to a potato salad too. So I'm very excited to be making that with you today. So you know, if you've been following me, you know that Friday is our live cooking show, Come Cook with Me, and just making sure you get that good. And so what we do is we just kind of share our experiences and share kind of, you know, what's been happening in our life this week, and share a favorite recipe. So today is our famous potato salad. So here we go. So glad that you are hopping on. Hey guys. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. I have done a lot of great prep work, so I'm going to talk about the prep work to begin with. So we'll start with all of the ingredients that we're going to see. I'm going to turn it just a smidgen that way so you can see. It's good. Okay, fabulous. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and talk to you about the prep work that I did this afternoon. So potato salad, obviously, you need a core ingredient, and so I've pre-boiled some potatoes. If you watched yesterday, we did some shopping. We did the live shopping to kind of show you what we needed for the recipe. But I went ahead and actually diced these up, and I'm going to show you how I did this. But I'll come back to that in just a minute. Now, the healthy version is made with cauliflower. So what I did is I took 2 heads. And by the way, this is the amount of 11 potatoes. There's one more that's going to be added. I'm going to show you how I dice it. And then I took 2 heads of cauliflower and I diced it as well. And this is the tool that you see inside. This is my dicer. It's my ricer and my dicer. I'm going to show it to you really close. And I have to be honest with you, I haven't seen one of these in a very long time. This is probably, and you can see it's kind of dented. It's been in my family. And see those little, these are all sharp edges. I don't know. Yeah, that's a good angle. Yeah, that's one of my favorite kitchen tools when I'm making any kind of potato salad or any kind of like a salad that needs something that's diced, but gets it all the little pieces. So it's really awesome. And all you do when you're dicing is you just take it and you're making circles until it gets to the perfect consistency. And it's really awesome. See what happens when you steam cauliflower and then you take it off, the broccolets off, you start to dice it. I mean, take a look. Doesn't that look awesome? It looks just exactly like potatoes. I mean, it's just amazing. And it really, once you make some of the flavorings, it's really a hard, you know, when you add the eggs and the other ingredients, it's really hard to, it's a great version. Okay, so this is my dicer. And I went ahead and I did eggs as well. And so I have 2 containers. One is for the cauliflower salad and the other one is for the normal potato salad. And again, same concept. All I did was I hard-boiled some eggs. In this one there's 11. So the ratio is going to be 1 egg for every potato. And I left the egg white and egg yolk. Again, if you wanted to make even the traditional a little healthier, you could do half the amount of egg yolks. But, you know, it's potato salad, it's the weekend, and it's a holiday. So it's not something that you're going to be making all of the time, right? It's not a staple. So it's kind of nice to have a treat. And I just take, again, my dicer I do this for everything. And it's so cool. So all you have to do is dice it up just like that, and you just keep on dicing. So I went to the trouble and did that already with all of these. And for this one, there were 5 eggs. I went ahead and did 5 eggs in this particular one for the cauliflower. the other thing that I have is our onions. This is one small onion, and this is going to be the batch for the cauliflower. And what's so cool is you can just take that dicer and get it really nice and diced up. So perfect. Outstanding. And then in this tray, this is kind of to show you the in process of what I've actually done. This is a full large onion, and this is for the traditional potato salad. And so you can see I'll use a tray, kind of a cooking dish, baking dish. And what it does by having the baking dish, it separates and, makes the onion kind of spread out so you can really get in and get to the nooks. I actually put the potatoes in this, just like doing this. And I'm going to show you how I did that when I actually do a potato. So because this is all ready to go, I'm going to go ahead and just dump this onion right in to the potatoes. Now, to show you how we did this with the potatoes. I've got a boiled potato, and I'm going to show you, it's really, really simple for those of you who are really new to cooking. When you boil a potato, just boil it with the skin on. Keeps some of the nutrition into the potato, and you're just going to peel back. Once it's boiled, it just easily peels back the skin. Now, there are some people, and you can do a thumbs up, how many of you love to have the skin on your potatoes? I know when I use red potatoes or new potatoes, or sometimes when I use the fingerling potatoes, I'll go ahead and leave the skins on because it's just, it just has that much better of a flavor. But this skin is really thin, so I go ahead and pull that back because it makes it more mealy. When you keep the skin on the potato of the other types of potatoes like the fingerling, it's an easier one to do. So once you get the skin peeled from your potato, all you're going to do is you're going to cut it in thirds and then repeat it on the other side, cutting it in thirds. And this is what I did to make these 11 potatoes that are right there. And then all I did was take my little dicer It's so simple, and you just keep on dicing it until you get it into the little teeny bite-sized pieces. Our family really has grown up with not chunky potato salad, but really bite-sized pieces, so they really love that. And this little, I've had this guy for, well, you all know, or if you're just joining us for the first time, this is Brad and myself, our 30th anniversary for being married. So I've had this guy, I got this when I was in graduate school, so 2 years before we actually got married. So this is, what, 32 years old. This guy. And he's been through a lot of moves, and he's still sharp. I mean, it's just amazing. And again, I haven't seen this. I think you're probably going to have to Google this tool and try to find it if this is one that you want. If you don't have something that you can dice with, you can just cut in small little teeny pieces. It works either way. But I found because the potato is very soft, after you've boiled it, that it's just so much easier to have something that dices like this. And I'm just going to take that rest of that potato and put it into the container. So there's not very many ingredients in this recipe, which is just phenomenal. I mean, it's just great. And it's so easy. And since I know I've already measured the amount of egg, I'm going to go ahead, this is the traditional bowl, and put those eggs in so we can mix it all up. All right, the last ingredient, as far as a raw ingredient that goes in, is green pepper. And so again, same concept. I diced up the green pepper. You can use a food processor, but when I find when I use a food processor, it gets a little bit too liquidy. So again, dicing really keeps it from getting too liquidy. That's also the same thing that happens when, and there's actually 2 green peppers, so I am going to use a third of this for the cauliflower. So I'll just go ahead and scoop out a third of this bowl into here, and then I'm going to put the rest in the other bowl. Oh, that's right. I meant to tell you, yes. And I don't know if anybody watched me shop. That was one ingredient that I forgot to pick up yesterday, was the green pepper. I was at the grocery store and I thought, I'm missing something. Something's wrong. And I got home and I was like, I remember. I didn't have the green pepper. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and mix this bowl, get all the ingredients kind of nice and evenly spread out. Oh, again, I just so wish you could have smell-o-vision because it just smells like summertime. You know, when you're making, I don't know, there's some recipes, some foods that you actually make, like last week when we made the potato salad, the barbecue sauce. You just know it's summer, right? You know, it's just summer is right around the corner. And being Memorial Weekend, just makes me so excited. Oh, it smells so heavenly. All right, so since we're doing that with the ingredients, I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing. Add in the onion to the cauliflower. This is the healthy version. And the egg. Beautiful. I'm so excited to have this for this weekend. I don't know about you, but I know we've got some barbecue plans and some entertaining that we're going to do. We're going to take some of this and do some beach time. It's just going to be phenomenal. Grab a couple of sandwiches, hang out at the beach, and this potato salad is so great, especially the second day after it sits in the refrigerator. It's just amazing. But you know, I'm going to show you the consistency of both of these. And look at how great this recipe when you make it with cauliflower. Now, I don't know, I think it was Nishia. She's kind of hooked me into the whole rice cauliflower. And, you know, you can buy it riced already, frozen in a bag. But I got to tell you, doing it homemade, fresh, from an organic bunch, it's just, it's heaven. It's really, it doesn't smell great when it's cooking, but when you get it all, you know, off of the big bunch, when you get it off, when you get the florets off of that big bunch, it's just, I mean, it's so easy. It's just amazing. But take a look. I mean, this is just fabulous. This is the cauliflower, right? And this is with the potatoes. How crazy is that? Outstanding. Love it. Love it. All right, so these are mixed up really, really well. What I like to do at this point in time is treat these both with some of the herbs and spices that we're going to add to it. And so the herbs and spices, we're going to use Dano. Hey Danny, if you're watching, you know we're using your spice. And this is the low sodium, not the spicy one, just the regular one. And it's chock full of, well, I'll find my glasses and I can read you the ingredients. I mean, just amazing. I don't know if that was you, Dano, but you can give me a thumbs up if that was you. Okay, so this one, I love this one. We used this last. It has garlic, sea salt, onion, parsley, lemon peel, orange peel, and cayenne pepper. But this is not the hot spicy one, it's just the regular one. So last week I had a contest and I said whoever shared the barbecue sauce recipe, you would earn one of these. Actually, you actually were going to get the set. You're going to get the set, the spicy one and the regular. So I'm going to do the same thing. You'll be entered into a random drawing, and then those of you who share, I'll send you a message and say that you won. So I'm just going to go ahead and, I don't have a set amount. I never cook, you know, I never cook from a recipe. Most of you, all who have been following me, you know that I don't. Oh, but boy, does that smell great when you put this on. Just amazing. So I'm going to coat the top layer, mix it in. And then I'm going to do one more layer. Beautiful. It's nice to go from one container to the next. Ooh, I almost got that in my tea. I don't want egg in my tea. Potato salad in my tea. Beautiful. Okay. The other thing I like to do is I use a little bit more sea salt. This is pink Himalayan sea salt. Never have any other sea salt in my kitchen other than pink Himalayan. Beautiful. And then we have some black pepper. Just a little bit more black pepper. I have the black pepper a little bit chunky, on the chunky side. Great. I'll stir that up. Now it's time for the wet ingredients. You're going to love the wet ingredients for the healthy version. Now, whoop, put that there. Okay, just going to put those off to the side, and we're going to work with the wet ingredients. This is going to be lovely. All right, so for this one, this is going to be our healthy version, our light version, and then this is going to be the traditional version. All right, and so for our light version, we're going to use some Greek yogurt, no flavoring, just plain Greek yogurt, and we're going to use about a pint. Now, I'm going to make a lot of wet ingredient here, get it all mixed together. But what I'm not going to do is pour it all in. I'm going to do it a little bit at a time because a little bit goes a long way. And as potato salad sits, it's always better if you need to add more in later. It's always better to do it that way. Oh, I love the way yogurt smells. Just so awesome. All right, so I'm going to do about a pint of yogurt. Now, if you were doing traditional with the potatoes and you wanted to save some calories, you could actually do that with this as well. Just, it's beautiful. But this is tradition and it's a holiday weekend, so it's for my husband. So I'm going to go ahead and use the mayonnaise. Again, you're going to probably use more putting it in your container than you are going to actually put into the potatoes. But that potato serving size is, again, you want to use about a pint. It's about a half a container full of the mayonnaise. And I'm not sure if you were following me yesterday, but some of you were. And you know that we get some of this as well. Made with olive oil. A little healthier. So I'm going to go ahead and scoop some of that out as well. Something about mayonnaise, it just smells so yummy, doesn't it? I prefer, honestly, the lighter version. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to put in is we use a regular yellow mustard. We have 3 different mustards that I actually use in this particular sauce. So I'm going to put in, we're going to go through this whole container for both of them. So hang tight. I'm just going to, actually I know how much I'm going to need. So I'm just going to squeeze it all out. Yeah. Some people don't like mustard as much. So if you're not a big mustard person, you know, use more mayonnaise or use more of the Greek yogurt. All right, the next mustard. This gives it a little bit of pizzazz. It's a wasabi mustard. Okay, so you're gonna do, I do about a squirt. There we go. Just a big full squirt there and about a half a squirt there. And yeah, I'm going to taste this before I actually even put it into the potatoes and cauliflower. And then there's a sweet hot mustard. You know, just about anything that you do a little sweet hot. You could do a honey. You could do a delicatessen one for the hot. And there's a horseradish. Okay, so the next ingredient, this is one of those things that when I was little and I was watching my grandmother make this recipe, she used to take a pickle and she would chop it up deli style. We don't have to do that anymore. They actually make it deli style for us. So I'm going to get a huge, I would say this is about half a cup that I'm using. And then I'm going to use about 1/4 of a cup for the cauliflower, because it's just not as much. And get some of those beautiful juices, the sweetness. It's so great. Okay, now, because we had a lot of juice in there, we're just going to use just a teeny bit of the honey. So I'm going to get, it's going to be about a tablespoon. And again, you can use any sweetener you prefer. I like to use a natural sweetener. And our potato salad tends to be a little bit of, you know, it's got a little of the tang of the mustard, sweetness from the honey, and the yogurt or mayonnaise. Beautiful. Okay. And then we use, I think I shared with you, you know, I used to use the, hold on, I'll show you what I used to use. I used to use the liquid aminos, but I've had a couple people, actually when I posted the recipe, I posted another recipe, and people said, well, what are liquid aminos? And it's like, it's the best part of a soy, it's like a soy sauce, but it's just a healthier version. But I found these in their coconut aminos, and it's like, again, it's going to give that soy flavor, and I'm just going to use just a jigger. Just pizzazz, just give a little bit of pizzazz. And now it's time to mix all of that up. Oh, that's beautiful. And now, before I actually put this into the potatoes, I am going to taste it. I recommend doing the same so that you know exactly the flavor that it's going to give your dry ingredients, your potatoes and your cauliflower, whichever one you're putting into. All right, let me get one more mixing spoon. Oh, so beautiful. Oh, it smells so fresh. So you can see, this is the color of the yogurt base, and this is the color of the mayonnaise base. Okay, not too dissimilar. One's a little lighter in color. Okay, go ahead and taste that. It needs a little bit more of the wasabi mustard. And a little bit more of the yellow mustard. Yeah, that did the trick. I can just see it in the color. Just want to taste it, make sure. Perfect. Oh my gosh. Oh, you should taste that. That's just amazing. Okay, let me taste this one. This is the one with the mayonnaise. This is so simple. Okay. That is missing a little bit more mayonnaise. is where, you know, tasting it, it's everything. So, and I think a little more wasabi on this one, and a few more of the aminos. Fabulous. If you could only smell this, it's just amazing. Okay, give it one more test. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. Okay, so this is it. This is all we have to do is stir in, and I'm going to do a little bit at a time. I'll start with the potatoes. So put in a little bit at a time. I'll get a bigger spoon. It makes it a little easier having a bigger spoon. What's really nice about potato salad in the summer is that this recipe, again, because it has eggs and mayonnaise, you don't want to have it in the refrigerator longer than 5 days. Ah, so great. All right. And I don't know about you, but we don't like it too wet. But once I get it all mixed up, there's one final thing that we do in this recipe. And it's really just phenomenal. Now, you can wait to do this when you're serving it in a big group. Or you can do a little, like now as you're preparing, and then add in some fresh on top right when you're serving. Oh, this is turning out just beautifully. You can almost hear it. You can hear how yummy that just sounds so good. I think you'll love, absolutely love, having the cauliflower recipe as a go-to, especially those of you who are on a really good, healthy journey. I think you'll love having the ability to have both. You know, on a holiday, one day, it's not bad to splurge. It's just you don't want to sit down and make a full plate, right? You just want to have a little bit. Oh, that's so perfect. And see, you can see, I'll show you my container. I have quite a bit left in here. I'm not going to use it. There's no need because it's just perfect. So I'll go ahead and do the other one so that you can see it with the cauliflower. Now, how do you know which one? They looked almost exactly the same. How do I know that I didn't mess up? I know. Okay, I'm adding half of that. One more big spoon. There's just something about cauliflower. I am in love with cauliflower. So yummy. And what a great treat for the whole Memorial weekend. I think this lighter version you're going to absolutely love. It looks so beautiful. Just wait till you see it. Okay, take a look. Doesn't that look just incredible? Outstanding. You can show some love, show some hearts, do some thumbs up. Okay, so the final touches, what we're going to put on our chives. Okay, and so like I said, thank you. Yeah, so what you want to do is, these are already been washed, but you're going to do chives. You're going to put some fresh chives in, mix it up, but save some so that when you're serving for the weekend, like when you have your big party and you're ready to serve it, you want to have the freshest ones like kind of sprinkled throughout the top. And it just gives it that clean, fresh, homemade, just beautiful. So easy. And potato salad is really one of those easy things. So if you remember, I use a scissor, and anytime I'm using an herb, you really, if you're using fresh, you want to use a scissor and do it right into the bowl. Now, that's because the zest from the herb, just if you had a camera and you had a really good lens, you would see the zest just spray right off of the cut. And so all of those flavors and the beautiful mist of cutting right into the chive goes right into the bowl. It's really a great way to do that. Okay, that's good for that one. And I'm going to save some of these for the very end. Or if you have a second batch that you've purchased, you can just pull that right out. Awesome. And there you have it. And that's it. Now, you might want to, let this sit for, 15 minutes in the refrigerator and pull it back out and really give it a good final test before you clean up all of these ingredients. I've found that once it sets and gets a little chilled, the flavors just kind of gel together. And then you can see if you're missing, you need a little more salt, maybe you need a little bit more pepper, maybe you need just a little bit more mustard, whatever the ingredient is that you love that you're not finding. Okay, so one of the great things about all of the live broadcasts that I've been doing lately, the Come Cook With Me show, and in the Being Mindful practice that we do live on Thursdays, I've had a few people who have said, hey, why not talk about, while you're doing the cooking show at the very end, do some inspiring lifestyle questions, answer some lifestyle questions. So you know that I'm a lifestyle health and wellness coach. So I thought it was a fabulous idea. So what I did is, I guess it was yesterday's post, right? I put a questionnaire out and said, what are your top questions? And private message me. So the ones that came in, and they're really typical because they're the ones that I see all of the time. So I thought we would use the end of the show and kind of cover that. I'm going to show you the rest of these so you can see how beautiful they look. That's what it looks like. Gorgeous. And I'm going to put those into a container and put them in the refrigerator. And that's our cauliflower salad. Just outstanding. Okay, so let me put my glasses on. And the very first question, so I picked the top 3. And we'll do this next week as well. Although next week, traveling, my father is ill, so I'm going to be traveling to Chicago. And I'm not sure what we're going to do on the cooking show, so hang with me on that one next week. I'll have to we'll pitch. I might have to tape it and not be live next week. We'll just have to see what happens. Okay, so top 3 questions. One is, how much water do I really need to drink daily? Okay, so, I, as a health coach, always say you want to drink half your body weight in ounces of water. Our bodies are comprised of 60% water, right? So you've got to at least have an intake of 8 to 8. Now, I did some research too, because, even though I have known and been taught that my entire time of being a health coach, I wanted to really see, well, what do the experts say? So I actually looked this up, and Mayo Clinic was one of the experts that I had found. And what was fascinating to me is that there's not a really big study that has been done. But of every little study that or group that I did some investigation, what I found was that there were really some consistent answers. So I love this. I think this is great. So the hard fast, maybe when you were growing up, your mother always said, you need 8 ounces of water. That kind of gave you the 64-ounce magic number. But that's not true for everybody, right? Because we're all different in our bodies. And this is what the Mayo Clinic has said. You know, basically it's based upon where you live, how active you are, and your overall health is really the determining factor of how much water you should have. So not having enough water, which we all know leads to dehydration. When we have dehydration in our body, a lot of crazy things can happen. Constipation, we have gut issues, we'll have oxidative stress issues because our body is 60% water. It's going to need the water. So if it's not going to get water, it will retain the water if you're not giving it the water. That is an absolute truth. So, all kinds of kidney stones happen if you're not drinking enough water. And what I found was really fascinating was the acne. And this was this is what Mayo Clinic had talked about. I just love that piece of learning that. So their rule of thumb was an average person who's sedentary, just an average person, needs about 3 liters or 13 cups. And women who are sedentary need about 2.2 liters or 9 cups, to give you a rule of thumb. The other thing is that if you are sick, breastfeeding or nursing, well, that is the same thing, right? I mean, pregnant or breastfeeding, or you exercise a lot, the rule of thumb is you're going to need more than that, okay? And that goes back to having half your body weight in ounces of water and adding 16 more ounces, okay? And again, it depends on your temperature, where you are, where you live, and really how active you are. So too much water, this is the other thing that I read, can create an imbalance. And I know this from when I was running. One of the things that when you would train, it was really important to make sure that you were getting enough sodium and electrolyte replacement in your water. So you could do that through using like some kind of a hydration tool. But that's really an important piece because you don't want to have just too much water where you're depleted of your sodium and your electrolytes. So, water. What does water do for us? I think you're going to love this. It increases our metabolism. So if we're drinking and fueling our body with enough water, our metabolism will increase. So who doesn't want to drink more water? You have a higher ability to have a weight loss if you're intaking water. And that was an interesting piece. So I think I might put that particular study from the Mayo Clinic below so you can see what I read. The other thing, and this is something that we've always talked as a health coach, if you drink a glass of water a half an hour before your meal, you're going to end up eating less because your body, when you think you're hungry, it's really most likely your body isn't hungry. What it is your body is thirsty, and so it mimics the hunger association, all right? And you'll improve your acne. You'll reduce your risk of kidney stones. We don't want kidney stones. And reduces your risk of cancer. So that's how much water. Okay, so that's health question number 1. All right. Now, how much sleep should I get? This has been a big question in many of the health groups that I'm participating in. We have a big bedtime belly buster that we're 3/4 of the way finished with. And this is a hot topic. How much sleep is really required. So I'm going to talk about this, and this is, I did back this up also with the National Institute of Health. It's an average, this is just averagely speaking. Any person needs to have 7 to 9 hours of sleep every day, okay? So children and teens tend to need more. And one of the things that is a huge misconception, and I know people who I'm coaching that are my age and or older, their thought process to me, what they say to me is, well, as we age, we really don't need as much sleep. Well, that's a misconception. Because as we age, what happens is we may not be exercising as much, so we don't tend to feel as sleepy. And sometimes as we age, if we're not active, we're going to be taking a nap. There's nothing wrong with taking a nap, but when you do, if it affects your sleep in the evening and you're not getting 7 to 8 or 9 hours, well, then you know you shouldn't be napping, because that means you're not getting the important parts of your sleep. So let's talk about those important parts of the sleep. So 20 to 25% of the time that you're sleeping, you're going to have there's two phases of sleep. There's the REM, rapid eye movement sleep, and then there's the NREM, the non-rapid eye movement. Okay, so most of the time when we're sleeping, we're in the NRM, but we fluctuate. We kind of go like this. But between the time of 11 and 2, that's when we're in the REM, rapid eye movement. And that's where our body is really repairing itself. So it's critical that you get to bed at a normal time so that you get that really effective sleep, that REM sleep. Okay, so I also found a really interesting statistic when I looked at the National Institute of Health and the brain studies that they had done as it relates to sleep. Amazing studies. So, if you, sleep loss is associated, this is part of the study, sleep loss was associated with diabetes, hypertension, restless leg syndrome, obesity, depression, heart attack, and stroke. And I know that, I don't know, it seems like every time I'm looking on Facebook or there's a commercial on the television, you're seeing all kinds of studies coming out about sleep deprivation. So pay attention to those, because this study was really fascinating. So let's talk about when we actually get ourselves to sleep. So I'm just going to give a few tips. These are some of the things that I do when I coach people, how to prepare themselves for sleeping. And I know, again, this is, like I said, in one of the groups that I'm in, we talk about this, and it's really, really, really helpful. So if you are like me, I have a little bit of restless sleep syndrome. So I make sure I have 600 milligrams of magnesium. Magnesium is beautiful. So the other thing that you can do to get ready for sleep is, and these are tips and techniques to have a really calm, restful sleep. So how many of you can do a thumbs up, show some hearts, if you actually have a TV in your room? I'm talking to you. I know we do. But one of the things that we have adopted is not putting that TV on when it's bedtime. I don't even know why we have the TV in the room anymore, because it's not necessary. However, take that TV, take that electronic. If you have a phone, take that out of the room. If you have an electronic reader, don't read through that electronic reader. So what those lights are doing, the rays of those lights, they're activating our brain. So it's keeping us from calming our body down. And the point of calming our body down is to get into that deep sleep so that by 11 o'clock we can get to that rapid eye movement. And we go into phases. You know, you're in deep and you pull out and you go deeper in, and you pull out and you go deeper in. That's really kind of the realm of how we actually go through our sleep patterns. But if your room is calm, if it's cool, you just have no lights, no ambient light. Our phone has an actual, you can swipe up if you have an iPhone. I don't know the other phone techniques, but you can actually turn it on for nighttime sleeping. It's not the do not disturb, but it's the actual nighttime sleeping. So it takes that blue light out so that it doesn't affect your eyes. Now, some of you, I know, if you're like me, you might get up in the middle of the night and use the restroom. So a technique of what I want you to do is I want you to use no light and only try to look with one eye. It takes practice, but try not to put any light on. If you put that light on, you're going to be waking up a part of your brain that will not allow you to get back to the REM sleep that you really need. That, again, your body absolutely requires that. So the other tip and technique that I'm going to share with you is after you've had a nice warm bath and you're getting ready to get into your bed, well, we have a product called Sleep Spray. I recommend it. It's melatonin. You put a couple squirts under your tongue and boom, you're out. You're just out. It's so great. But it goes right away to the brain and signals to the brain to shut the body down. It's beautiful. The other thing you can do is talk to every muscle, every part of your body, and talk to it and tell it to go to sleep. It's time to settle down. So I could go on and on and share with you how else to get your body turned down. So if you have more questions as it relates to this topic, feel free to send me a message. Third question. This is a great question. How much protein do I actually need in the course of a day? All right, so I went for the dietary requirement intake, and I'm going to share a statistic with you. When I coach people who are in my health and nutrition and they're wanting lean muscle mass, I coach them a little bit differently than what somebody who is not. So the daily dietary reference intake says about 0.8 grams protein per kilogram of body weight. Or, so for a female, that would be 36 grams of protein, and for a male, that would be 56 grams of protein. Again, that's somebody who's sedentary, not doing anything, right? So, what I want you to think about is if you want to have lean muscle, you want to build muscle, you're going to think about that equation a little bit differently, and that equation is going to be about 1 gram for every pound, okay? Now, we get protein in so many different ways, so many great ways. We get it through plants, we get it through food, some meat, we get it through eggs, we get it through cheese, through dairy. But one of the things that you want to do is when you're looking at the protein that you're absorbing, is what are you absolutely your body going to be able to absorb? So one of the things that I coach with, especially when I get people to maintenance, is you need to make sure that you're having one whey protein shake. And we have lots of different kinds of protein. We have full meal replacement protein. We have a plant-based full meal replacement protein. But you want to have that first thing in the morning. If you're going to only do one thing that's really super great for your body, you're going to make sure that you get that protein first thing in the morning. And why first thing in the morning? Because that's the first thing that's going to fuel your muscles. It's going to fuel your day. It's going to fuel your brain. And those are the things that you want to absorb first thing. Again, bioavailability of that protein that you're putting in your body is quintessential, right? If you're gonna get the best protein. Again, I can talk with you privately about all of the great proteins, but if you have good protein first as your first meal of the day, one of the things that it happens is that there's a hormone. It's called PYY. And it's a gut hormone, and it's released, and what it does is it helps make you feel full, and it keeps you full for a longer period of time. It also decreases that hunger, the ghrelin, or the hunger hormone, to keep your insulin levels going. That's amazing what protein does. I mean, protein is really an important part of our diet. So that's it. Those are the 3 questions. Top 3 questions. And that's it. That's it for the cooking show today. So I'm really happy that you joined us. I don't know if you have any questions. I don't see any. Oh, we do have a few that had gone up, but I'm sorry I won't be able to. I'll catch those and I'll come back and answer them. If you have any questions about the recipe, anything, any questions, any ideas of what you'd like to see in a future cooking show, don't hesitate to private message me and let me know. And before I leave, I have a gift, or I have last cooking show. I forgot to mention who the winner was from the previous cooking show. And that was when we did the shrimp pasta, I believe. Anyway, the girl who won sent me the message and said, hey, who won? And it was, the reason why she won was because she was one of the people who shared this video. So if you take this video and you share it on your page, just share it from my wall and share it on your page, you're entered to win the prize of the week. And I shared with you the prize of the week this week are going to be Dano's spices, and they're this size, so they're great. It's a great size. But Sarah, because we had just had introduced our seasonal shake, our peach mango, Sarah Williams, won this peach mango, and I didn't get to announce that last week. So Sarah, I'm going to be sending that to you. Congratulations! It's my favorite shake of all. And no, you can't get it anymore. But any rate, that's who won. And then so this week, share this video, share it on your wall, share it on your friend's wall, and you'll get a chance to win the Spices from Dano. All right, everyone have a very safe holiday. If you're driving, traveling anywhere, just be safe, enjoy, get your exercise in, make sure that if you're moving your body, you're getting your water in and you're getting your protein in, and enjoy this recipe if you're making it for the weekend. Okay, have a fabulous Memorial Weekend. See you soon.